All right, welcome back to the Southbound Sports Report. I want to apologize off the bat. Halftime, we had some technical things. I figure the internet was blowing up because you have a perfect storm of the Super Bowl and the halftime show. So you're going to get the casual fans and the actual football fans all blowing up Twitter and the rest of the internet all at once. But post-game show, we should be good. And hell of a Super Bowl. Great game, back and forth. I honestly thought the Patriots were going to pull away there at the end. But if you didn't watch the game, the Philadelphia Eagles won their first Super Bowl ever, 41-33 over the New England Patriots. Matt, what's your initial thoughts after the game?
Holy shit. This is going to go down as the Super Bowl where nobody decided to play defense. I was shocked that I really am truly surprised that in the second half, nobody had an answer for anything that either team was doing offensively. New England continued to motion and put the Eagles in binds, and the Eagles just threw their backs out of the backfield, and neither team had an answer to it. It was just offensive play after offensive play. I was impressed. What did you think?
It was crazy. You're right. New England ended up with 613 yards, Philadelphia 538. So over 1,000 yards in this game. Anyone that says football isn't exciting, you're wrong, because this game was back and forth just as much as any basketball game or hockey game would have been, just from the excitement standpoint. I think what happened was you had New England, they both had one turnover. New England just had theirs at the worst possible time. And I think it would have been back and forth. I mean, they're only down one touchdown at the end. They have a Hail Mary chance. When Gronk was in the middle, I thought it was going to be tipped back to like the 1 yard line. New England had two guys there, Amendola and someone else, and it just kind of like fluttered over Gronk's shoulder, the Hail Mary. But even if they would have converted that, they still would have had to go for two. So it would have been crazy if they catch that and then lost on a 2-point conversion. I think that would have been more crushing than the way it happened. New England was driving. They were down only 5, I think, or 6. I forget what it was, 5. And Brandon Graham fought through. I don't think was there even any sacks in this game for the Eagles? Let's look.
No, I don't think there was.
No,
because
for either team. There was one sack for 5 yards. Or no, yeah, there was one sack for 5 yards. It was the Patriots on Foles. That's it. Because the Graham one didn't count as a sack, I guess, because he fumbled the ball. So it was a forced fumble turnover.
And, for John Gruden's sake, I'm glad that Brady got sacked and that it wasn't just called the tuck rule. So I'm sure in Oakland right now, Gruden's satisfied that Brady got sacked, and it wasn't just ruled that New England gets to do whatever they want to do.
Well, I knew that was going to be a controversial play. And what about the Zach Ertz touchdown? Because go ahead.
This is the only thing that I think differently about it, is that there was nobody around him when he was in the end zone. So regardless of what your thoughts of whether it's a catch, whether it's not a catch, he hit the end zone by himself. The ball pops up, and then it lands directly on him in the end zone. So I don't think that there was any way that they could have ruled it anything but a touchdown.
Well, there are a couple things. First, he took 2 steps. I saw a lot of people online saying that he had 4 steps in. He did not. He took 2 steps in, and he didn't jump quite because he actually got hit by a New England Patriot player, which kind of, maybe that's what they said was his football move, because he got both feet down. He did not make a move. He kind of got his feet taken out, and then he stretched to the end zone. Now, I went on about the similarities with the Jesse James catch for the Steelers. Now, when he caught his knee was down, and I think both legs were down, and he did the same thing. He turned and stretched. I think the ball broke the plane on both plays.
Oh, yeah. It definitely.
It was very similar. The only thing was Jesse James was down on the ground compared to Ertz. He was up. And to make the complicated matters worse, when the ball hit off the ground and popped up in the air, he actually caught it. So they could even say, like, well, the ground can't cause a fumble, and he did catch it. So they could have just said it like it never touched the ground. But I'm interested to see what they're going to actually say whenever they do their official ref statement tomorrow or whenever that comes out. I don't think it would come out tonight after a Super Bowl. But, man, such a close play, although it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I mean, the only difference that would have made was New England needing a field goal, or I guess they wouldn't have needed the 2-point conversion there, because Philadelphia would have got a field goal both times and been up like 5 or whatever. So I don't think it changed the outcome of the game. But I'm going to wait and see how many people talk about it tomorrow. Let's look. Anything else that you saw in the game you wanted to hit on?
Yeah, I was just happy that all those Seminoles that are on the defensive side of the ball got their rings. So they were used to winning national championships at the collegiate level, and it was great to see that they brought that winning attitude to the NFL and won a Super Bowl with that as well.
Well, I did tell you during the game, I think I found the formula of beating Tom Brady and the Patriots. You need to have a dominant Michigan player make a play to offset Tom Brady's Michigan greatness. You had Brandon Graham strip Tom Brady, which a lot of people on Twitter said was Michigan on Michigan crime. During the game, that was the running joke. He got the strip, so one Michigan guy taking out another. And then a few years ago, you had the Manningham catch down the sideline to keep the Giants alive in their game. So I think that's the key. Unless there's another divine miracle like the David Tyree helmet catch, which I think was the other Super Bowl. I think Manningham was one and Tyree was the other one.
He wasn't a Michigan guy as well. It wasn't just Michigan, just playing Michigan players.
No, but Plaxico did catch the one Super Bowl touchdown, which he's a Michigan State guy. But we can forget about that one. But, yeah, I'm looking at the stats. The stats are just crazy, yeah. Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. He's going to be the head coach of the Detroit Lions. If you're a Lions fan, what do you feel right now?
Well, I'll say this. This was the one agitating thing, and this is just purely from a coach standpoint. Chris Collinsworth, oh my God, every single play was an RPO tonight. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. You mean to tell me that NBC, that was the best that you could do as Chris Collinsworth? You couldn't find somebody else. You probably could have got some drunkard that was walking around the stadium and had someone equally as good to call this game. He's like, everything was just like, oh, that's an RPO. No, when you call a play action pass, it's supposed to look like a running play. So there's some plays that actually it wasn't an RPO, but he just like every single time, if you would have taken a drink every time he said RPO tonight, you would have had a blood alcohol level that would have been a lethal dose because he would have been a liar and you would have been dead.
Well, he has to get the keywords in there. And to your point, yes, that's the best NBC can do. I've kind of given up on them as a network because everything they do is awful. They were putting out the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, how it's going to be on NBC. And to my knowledge, they have never shown an Olympics with the events live, even when it was in our time zone. So in this day and age, you have to show the events live, which we'll be covering with the Southbound Sports Report. So make sure you subscribe when this is up if you like this shorter format, because it gives us a way to hit events like this as they happen. Because as they happen, NBC is not going to be showing them. So I saw too many Olympics commercials, and I know their coverage is going to be a letdown. And the other thing, Matt, did you see those models of Tom Brady and Nick Foles? Awful. They look like Madden 99. And so I'm thinking they didn't first off, there was no reason for them to even use computer animated models because the whole 2 weeks up to the Super Bowl, they do photo shoots pretty much nonstop for all the players. They do all those animated talking head things during the regular season. So they have enough time to do them during the regular season. They have enough time to put them together for the Super Bowl. But instead they went, okay, let's make our own, because I don't think those were the ones from Madden. But my God, were they awful.
Hey, it's kind of like when you don't do your homework, and then you realize, oh, crap, teacher's correcting my papers right now, so I got to hurry up and turn something in. That's what they got.
What if that was the story? The executives there, he's like, all right, let's put up some graphics of the guys. And they're like, we don't have any videos of them. He's like, well, what do you got? Well, I've been messing around learning 3D modeling, and here's my Tom Brady. Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
post it.
Hurry up, put that up there. Doesn't look anything like him. And I'm sitting there watching the game. Person I'm watching the game with, they're like, dude, why is Tom Brady's face like that? Why is that photo up there? Couldn't they find a better photo? I'm like, that's not even a photo. Someone made that model. And they're like, this is my best work here. That's embarrassing. They should have made him put his like Twitter hashtag or something like as a sign up. You know how artists usually like sign it. That's what they should have did, so people could have came after him and been like, "What was that? Why even have that on there?" I still don't know. But they didn't show me anything. Like if you're gonna do computer graphics, show me some more of like the play charts, some of the breakdowns because the defenses were so bad. Show me something as a fan that I can learn from, instead of wasting your time showing stupid things like that. You have any closing thoughts on the game?
Well, I one of the things that I did like was the way that New England was able to exploit their motion. They would motion across the formation, they'd motion in to be able to determine what the coverage was. And as soon as they saw man-to-man, through their film study, they knew that Mills was the weak link of that defense. And it was like every single time, oh, it's man, and then they'd throw right at Mills. So they definitely found something that they liked and was successful with it throughout the entire second half.
Yeah, and both teams, man, just to wrap up, both teams threw over 40 times and only rushed 20. So it was definitely a pass-heavy game. Maybe that's the way the NFL is going to go. I did see a lot of people, they had that trick play, the pass back on the 4th down at the goal line. And a lot of people were saying that, NFL fans were saying that's the craziest thing they've seen. But that's run in college all the time. So if you go watch some college ball, which signing day is coming up this week, we're going to hit on that. You can see some of these offenses. The NFL just never upgrades anything. So as a fan, if you like football, check out college football. Go watch some high school stuff. In your local team, support them, because the NFL, they could be running this stuff all the time. Because I know these players coming in have run it in college, so not a surprise there. But yeah. I don't know if they announced an MVP yet. That's the last thing that I've seen. But great game. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz next year, because Foles did not look like a backup in this game or any of the playoffs. Maybe he just needs to be in a pro system like this. Any final thoughts?
Just curious to see what the next couple weeks are going to bring, and make sure you guys tune in for the full show on Tuesday.
Yep, sounds good. Follow us on Twitter, SBound Sports. Right here, if you found this, go to Instagram and Facebook for Southbound Sports. We do a Southbound Sports show. It's an hour-long show live on Facebook every Tuesday night at 9. So check that out, and thanks for listening.